One thing you talk about a lot in your music that I've always been affected by is the hard things you've been through, alcoholism, recovery, jail. You've been through a lot of crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. God damn, you're from Detroit.
Yeah, real Detroit life. Where were you like in this period in the late 90s into the early 2000s as your career was becoming something? Where were you in terms of that stuff? Were you reckless? Were you out here drinking crazy? Were you still was it not bad yet? Where were you at with it?
It picked up. It picked up over time. I took my first drink when I was 21. You know what I'm saying? So it used to be a thing to me not to drink or do none of those things at all. But I actually took my first drink with Dr. Dre. He offered me a drink, and I just said yeah because I didn't want to say no.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So 21.
21.
Wow.
And you were that young when you went out there for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how much older is Marshall?
I don't know.
5 years, 4 years?
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 45 now.
I think Marshall's like 49, 50.
Yeah, I think Marshall might be the big 5-0.
Yeah, he might be already be the big 5-0.
Sheesh.
So it's interesting because
What do you mean sheesh?
What mile is that?
You know, 50 is prime. That's prime years.
Yeah, 50
I know.
Yeah, well, Cipha knows he's staring it right in the face.
I'm almost there.
He's staring it down. But I know that experience because when I was young, I didn't take my first drink till I was 25.
Okay.
So I remember the same feeling you remember of it being like to not drink from through the teenage years.
Yep.
And you obviously know this. You still don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal in those teenage years to not be drinking.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
How'd you make it through college without?
I had no interest. I was, for lack of a better word, stubborn about it. Like I wasn't going to change my mind. I was like, I don't need it. I'm good. And it wasn't until like my mid 20s and this will come as no surprise to really either of you know my personalities. It was a bad breakup that led to me even trying to have a drink. That I was like,
you a bitch.
Cipha, I don't know if you know this.
Sorry,
you got a lot of bad breakups under your belt.
Who does it?
Yeah, no, I have a few, but they all leveled me. Like I think I have a regular amount of breakups, but I think I realized that my reaction to them are not the same as other people's.
You take them hard.
They're like a debilitating, at least a year.
Okay.
I've been down for a year 3 times.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's 3 years.
You lost 3 years of your life.
Swear to God. Face down and life is so full circle. On one of the times I was face down for a year.
Okay.
The person hanging with me, consoling me, was one of the people who put me down for a year the first time.
Right. Okay.
Life goes full circle.
Wow.
So that was what even led to me having a drink.
You got to go outside more.
But yo, do you guys know? Do you guys remember the song "Other Fish" by The Far Side?
Yeah.
In the beginning of "Other Fish" by The Far Side, I don't know who's on the phone and who's receiving it. He's like, "Come on, man, we got to go outside. We got to catch some studs, dude." And he's like, "Nah, I'ma just stay here for another hour, yo." That was basically me. I just couldn't leave the house, so I tried drinking. Fortunately, I think I have a relatively healthy relationship with alcohol. Relatively,
there's no such thing.
But there's no such thing, right? Whatever that means. It hasn't fucked up my life,
right?
Other things have fucked up my life. That one's been like plays the background.
Okay.
Although it can always contribute with other things nicely.
Yeah.
Like if you have one thing that fucks with your life, alcohol come right in.
It
like say, you
exacerbates
deal with eating, right?
Yeah. I don't deal.
No, you don't
well.
deal with it. You don't deal with it well. Let's put it this way: if you drank, which thank God you don't, you could be doing great on your eating mission, right? You could be down 30. You're really in the zone. You go out one night, have a few drinks. It's the perfect catalyst to give you just a case of the fuck-its.
Yeah.
And you'll just do whatever.
You let go of all your inhibitions.
Should I try it?
Are you stone sober now?
Yes, sir. 10 years.
How many?
10 years.
10 years.
Thank you.
Wow. I love when alcoholics clap for people that are sober.
Well, that's because everyone is an addict.
Yes.
So like everyone should be clapping. I tell you all the time, I listen to the song "Shake This," which if you don't know it, you probably don't know it because it was from the era when you were mainstreamed out.
Who, this guy?
Yeah, he doesn't know "Shake This." He was in the clubs,
whipping Lexuses and Benzes all through New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he did this record with Premier called "Shake This," and you tell the story of going to jail for the DUI.
Yes.
So it always is interesting to me in the song you say, you basically showed up to court on some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a nice suit.
Yep.
I'm gonna show up, pay the lawyer, and when I get there, they're gonna slap me on the wrist, and I'm gonna go home.
My lawyer told me that that's what was going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And how many DUIs had you had previously?
This is my third one.
This was your third.
Oh, that's not good.
And the judge basically was just like, nah, bro, you keep fucking up.
The prosecuting attorney recommended probation.
The prosecution did.
Yeah.
So this was just the judge's decision?
The judge made an executive call.
Shit.
How do you feel about that now looking back at it?
Best thing that ever happened to me.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
To go to jail.
Mhm.
For how long?
A year.
You were in jail for a year?
Yes, sir.
By the way, he was already a star. Like this is later. Like
I remember when you went. I didn't know it was that long though.
It was a
And you're
year.
saying that's the best thing that ever happened.
Yep. I needed to chill out.
Why? It made you sit down for a while?
I was moving too fast.
Yeah.
I was just moving too fast. That's it. And she said it. She said, "Mr. Montgomery, I got to shut you down."
Wow.
Did you ever talk to the judge again?
No.
I mean, house arrest would have been okay.
Well, I ended up getting work release with 3 months left in my sentence.
And what was your job?
To go home and have
Just
sex with
rap
my
it?
wife. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And rap at the studio.
Oh, that's a fun job.
Yeah.
Not your wife, just the sex part.
I know what you mean. I know
I
what you
never
mean.
had sex with your wife. It came out wrong.
So you can you still get the memory in your head of when the judge said 1 year, like how surprised you were?
All the time. All the time.
Nothing
I remember-
about that moment felt like the best decision.
No. Not
That
at that
came
At
through
that moment,
time.
I thought she was being the devil. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
yeah.
after sitting down for a while and how much mental clarity I had, and how many books I read, and how much time I had just to think. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
like, yeah. Because
Now-
I came out way stronger.
Right,
way
that's
better.
crazy.
But when you came out, you were stronger, but you had not found permanent sobriety yet, right?
Not yet.
Because I remember when I saw you, when you recorded a record with me in like 2008, you were still drinking. You were back on the sauce, right?
This was after?
After,
after?
but it was shortly after.
Okay.
So like, when did you? It comes in levels, right? You
Yeah.
tighten things up a little bit. What made you realize you had to go complete sobriety? That was the only path for you.
It was just a spiritual. I call it a spiritual awakening. You know what I mean? Like I tried everything. I tried only drinking wine. I tried only drinking on the weekends. None of that worked. After a while, it was just like
Once I get rid of this hard liquor, the problem is
Yeah.
it's the hard liquor.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
problem.
You mean a Merlot? Ain't nothing wrong with a Merlot.
being able to correlate all of your problems and everything that's going wrong in your life to just one thing. Like alcohol was just a common denominator.
Wow.
So one day I just woke up and just realized that I had to kind of like take that out of the equation,
And then you just took it out completely right then.
cut it out completely.
Wow.
Was
10
it-
years ago.
And was it meetings and 12-step? What did you do?
Everything you can think of.
You did it all.
First thing I did was call Marshall. I called Marshall. And
Was he
like,
already sober?
Yep.
Okay.
He was like 5 years in. And I called him and he was just like, yo, come home. He put me into this facility where I just, because cold turkey off alcohol is very dangerous. That's a very dangerous thing to do. So I went in there in the facility. I stayed there for like 2 days, got some sleep, had some IVs hooked up to me, saline flush, went home, was
That's
good
like
as new.
like a detox
Never
thing?
look. Yep. Never look back.
Wow. Congrats.
Never look back.
So when you guys met, were either of you into drugs and alcohol like that?
He was.
He was already there,
Mm-hmm.
but you weren't. So you would
Not
watch
yet.
him party and you
Yeah.
just weren't doing it.
Yep. I was out right behind him though.
You were
He was
ready to catch up.
Marshall's never been like a real big drinker. His thing was Vicodin back then. You know what I mean? And I never was into that. So I never was into pills like that. So
Did you ever
Man,
try
thank
it?
God those kids left.
like, did I ever try what, Vicodin?
Yeah, did you ever
Yeah,
try
yeah.
with the drug? But it
Of
just
course.
wasn't for you?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't get it.
So what do you do for a good time now? Once people, it's hard for people who drink to understand how people don't drink.
Yeah.
What has sort of replaced? Because generally, as you know, you're in recovery. I was just telling Syph before, recovery never ends.
He's recovered.
Yeah.
See, like he said, he's recovered. I said there's no such thing as recovered.
Yeah.
It's just a permanent process.
Yeah.
What do you do to scratch the itch? Because we're all trying to scratch something, whether it's validation or food or sex or drinking. What does Royce the 5'9" do to make himself feel good?
I keep myself real busy. And real goal oriented. Like I try to set a whole lot of short-term goals and just stay focused on them and just keep
Ooh.
hitting them. Whether that's creatively or me as a dad, me as a husband, just trying to get better
Oh, that's great.
all across the board, and it's tough because, you can also have behavioral relapses. I've had a lot of those over the years, especially during the pandemic. You know what I mean? So
What were some of the behaviors you really wanted to avoid getting back to?
a lot of the things that I found myself doing that I used to do when I was a raging alcoholic, arguing with other rappers, arguing with fans in the comment section, just not policing my energy. You know what I mean? Anything
You
that I can,
love arguing with rappers.
even anything that I can look at in retrospect and say to myself, I'm not proud of that. And I try to correct it.